Have you ever watched the movie The Matrix? Then you probably remember Keanu Reeves' difficult journey and awakening. He finds out that basically everything he has experienced, whether it is stories, people, and even smells and tastes, are nothing more than artificial tricks that are being played on his mind, because in reality, he is sleeping in a water tank and his brain is connected to a supercomputer. Imagine a similar scenario happening in reality. Could we even be aware of such a thing before waking up? And what would life be all about? Today we are diving into a tough reality check, because here's what would happen if we lived in a virtual reality. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and comment any suggestions for future topics down below. Red pill or blue pill? Time to choose. Let's assume that things would really not be as it seems in a hypothetical scenario. Not how you live your entire life, because in reality, you are only having an experience of something that seems to be reality. Just think about it. There is a chance that you have been connected to a supercomputer before you develop consciousness, and everything ever since is stimulated. Pain, anger, sorrow, or happiness are merely stimulated through electric shocks to your brain or serums. If that's the case, then you probably wouldn't even want to wake up. You know the life you have lived so far and took it as granted. Family, friends, and colleagues all play a vital part. It's not as easy as throwing everything off board, because who knows what awaits if you really wake up. What if you are shot at sight because you have failed their experiment? Since someone is playing games with you, you're the victim and therefore you are already on the losing end. So is there a chance to wake up within virtual reality? That's a tough one. You would have to look out for flaws and errors, things that can't be real, and that should be nearly impossible. Because the game is played on everyone, the system in place to run the game with more than 7 billion people needs to be overly perfect to the very detail. Only this way, the Grandmasters can enable everyone to continue their lives without a notion or categoric errors or refusal. It's also possible that you are seduced with poisonous cocktails to be too dull to think outside the box, or your nerve ends are jaded, so you can't grasp certain senses that you'd need to really change the point of view. But why would someone do such horrible things? What would they have to gain from it? There is plenty of room for theories in here too. One explanation is that humanity had dragged itself way too many times into the brink of extinction. As a result, it was agreed that people will be sold a fake sense of reality in which they can live and prosper. Since they are manipulated as part of the game, most people will be quiet and accepted. Another theory is that the Grandmasters are feeding off the energy production of our bodies as we live in VR to run their own empire. It could be a vicious cycle where the body drives the supercomputer, which in turn generates our fake reality. All while the masters enjoy the world all for themselves. They might simply be psychos with too much power, holding onto it because without it, everything would come down. And there comes a slight chance for humans, if they are able to take a step back and relax, to look at everything from a different angle, and everyone is doing this at the same time. The power generation can come to a halt, one that is too big to be easily overcome. A short circuit that wakes everyone up. Now that is an epic scenario. That's it for today's episode. Since you've watched until the end, you must have really enjoyed it. Let us know what you think about VR in the comments section. Thanks for watching What If We Live in a Virtual Reality? Bye-bye.